Hello Stampers, my name is Linda Bedinger and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Denver, Colorado. And today I have a card project for you. By the time you see this, I'll be in Greece. So I'll be back with a video of my swaps from some of the top demonstrators in the company, which is really exciting. And so let's just get started. Okay, this is the card project I have for you today, and it's a simple little card, but it's so cheery. I was inspired by this swap, and it's very close. I added a few more embellishments on it as pretty much all and changed the colors, but this was done. We had a meeting here for our region and under Stampin' Up, and Don Griffith from the Stampin' Up home office came and visited, and we did some swaps that night, and this is one of the swaps I got, and I just thought it was such a cute little card, so pretty, that I decided to do one today myself, and this is the one I did as my sample, and I did this in Pineapple Punch, and then I used the designer series paper that comes with the individual colors, and so I had the subtles. So this is actually probably so saffron, but I thought it matched the colors, and since I wasn't doing it all in one color, I put I thought it would be okay to use. I put Mango Melody behind these daisies here, and this is all using the new Daisy Lane stamp set and punch, which is a bundle in the catalog, and when you buy them together you save 10%. And we have the large daisy, but this daisy is a medium-sized daisy, which makes this a little bit more fun to put some different things on a card. And so out of this, I used Smile, I used this daisy. And so that's what I did to put this together. And I've changed up my colors today. So I'm going to do this in the purples. So let me show you what we need to make this card. I have a very vanilla base here that is 8.5 by 5.5, scored and folded at 4 1/4. And then I have a piece of gorgeous grape that is cut 4 inches by 4 inches. Then I have a piece of Highland Heather that is cut 4 1/8 by 5 3/8 because I wanted this to be rimmed. Then I have another piece of very vanilla, and I've already started cutting out my pieces here, but this piece is 4 by 5 1/4, and then you need some scrap very vanilla to cut out and stamp your other daisies here. And with this set, what I'm using is the gorgeous Grape ink. There's my daisy, and a piece of ribbon from this pretty ribbon, and it's called Scalloped Linen Ribbon, and this one has the purple posy on it. And then the piece of paper I've cut for across the bottom, and this piece is 4 inches by 1.5 inches, and it's out of the purple Posy Designer Series paper. So that's it, and let's just get started here. So the very first thing I'm going to do is to adhere this piece to the back of this piece. And what I want is that purple behind it to go away except for what shows through the punched out. And what I did was I just took this punch and I punched out the 3 daisies, one here, and then one here. So, and you can punch them, you could punch them all down the side and put your Designer Series paper on the side. I kind of like the design of the woman, and let me tell you her name. She's from here, from Colorado, and a minute ago I had it. I'll find it again here, and if not, I will post it below the video, because I had managed to keep the two pieces together, and now I don't see it. So it's fallen out of here, but she's a local demonstrator from Colorado, and I'll make sure that she gets credit here, and I'll either find it and show it to you, or I will put it, link it down below the video. So here we go. So the very first thing I'm going to do is to put some snail where I can once I've cut out my daisies here. And so I'm just going to put some snail where I can in between to kind of hold this piece down. So the first piece I'm going to do is I'm going to put this piece on here, and like I said, this piece is cut 4 by 4, so it should fit right behind here. That's the plan anyway, that it would absolutely cover these daisies on the front. And hopefully I can get them to do that. There we go. Because I don't want any of that purple showing outside of that. All right, there we go. So there's our piece. Then this piece is going to get put on this piece. And I thought this was kind of fun to do with the different purples, since we have 3 purples now, with the gorgeous Grape and the Highland Heather and purple Posy. So this piece here is the Highland Heather that's cut 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And I'm just going to go ahead and mount this piece on here. I didn't actually raise anything on this card because I've got the flowers there, and then we'll do some kinds of centers here. And so I'm going to lay this down just so we can just see that Highland Heather behind it there. Nice small little border. And then what I'm going to do is put down my ribbon. Let's see, I cut a piece of ribbon and it's run away. So I'll cut another piece of ribbon here. Just need about that much. And this is my Designer Series paper. This comes in a 6x6 pack in each of the color families. And so it's a really nice thing to have. It's got writing on one side. It's got this pattern. It's got a couple of other patterns that I'll pull that out here in a minute if I can find what I did with it. Here it is. Here's the pack, and it comes in the yellow, it comes in the soft sea foam. All of the subtle colors are in here. And so there's this pattern that I've been using. And then let me grab a different one so you can see the back side of this. This one is in the mint macaron, and it has this kind of a cross-hatched pattern on one side stitched, and then it's got gingham. So there's gingham virtually for every color that Stampin' Up! Has. It's really kind of fun. So I've gotten a couple of these packs now, and I'll be getting the rest of them because they're awfully handy for just a little bit more color-themed Designer Series paper, which I really like. So let me put some snail on the back of this. and put that in place along the bottom of my card here. There we go. And then my ribbon is going to go across here and just add a little bit of interest. And so I'm going to put some snail on the back of my ribbon here. And this ribbon's kind of got a little warp to it, so putting some snail on it I think is a really good idea. So I'm going to set this ribbon just slightly above my pattern paper here and stretch that across, and then secure that ribbon on the back of my project here. There we go. Isn't that pretty? So then I made a linen bow here, a linen thread bow, which I thought would be pretty, a double bow. I just cut 2 lengths and made my bow. And for that I need a glue dot. So I'm going to take a glue dot and fold it over on itself a couple times so that I end up with something that's more of a little sausage shape. Put that on the back of my linen bow here and set that into place on my card. And I think that just dresses it up so nicely. All right, very good. And if there's any of that, and I can feel just a little bit of that glue dot sticking out there, just take your pokey tool and kind of tuck it underneath until you can't feel any sticky, and you're pretty much done. Now, what I'm going to do is do my stamping now. I could have done that ahead of time, but this will work, and I'm going to do my stamping in Gorgeous Grape. So the first thing I'm going to do, now this punch lines up vertically so that this petal here goes straight up and down. So when you stamp this from the daisy lane, it's good to stamp it so you have one going straight up and down. It makes it real easy to punch out. So I need 3 of these. So there's 1. Oh, pretty color. And 2. And then 1 more along this side here. And I got some smudges here. I might just do 1 more just in case that shows up. It probably won't because I'll be punching it out, but there's no need to press down quite as hard as I was doing. Or just clean up your punch in your stamp in between. There we go. All right, so what I'm going to do first, I'm going to close up my ink, or I will stick my hand in it. Okay, so now I'm going to go in and line this up on my punch, and I'm going to punch out 3 of these little daisies. I like this card because it's simple, and because you're using a punch, it's pretty fast. And I love having the smaller daisy as an option. I made lots of daisy cards when the first one came out. If you'll recall, we ran Stampin' Up! Out of their daisies punches a couple of times before they finally caught up with everybody, because they were so popular. And I turned one of them into a another kind of flower with many, many layers. It's a great fun punch to work with. Okay, so what I'm going to do is put a little bit of snail, move that punch out of the way now, put a little bit of snail just on the center of my daisy here, and put that into place offset between the dark petals that are underneath. And that way these can be fluffed a little bit and have a little bit of dimension to them. Okay, so next, take my next daisy and do exactly the same thing here. There we go. One more to go. Now this one could be fun too by insetting this and then doing one in the darker colors or different color or the same color and doing 6 petals. So putting it on just slightly this way and then another one for real fullness. But this seemed nice and simple, and I was going for something that would be kind of fast and easy for people to do. So there we go. And I think for the centers of these, I'm going to use my big faceted gems in the clear, which looks silver. Okay, here are my big faceted gems, and I thought these medium-sized ones would fit nicely in the center and just add some real sparkle to this card. Very pretty, I think. You never have too much sparkle for me. And let's see, one more that we're going to put in the center of, oops, kind of missed the center on that one. Let me try that again. There we go. So that's what I have there. Then we have to do our smile. And this stamp set has one, in fact, the sample says friend. But I like the idea of smile because I'd like to send a smile to a bunch of people. So I'm going to ink that up, and it looks like I've gotten some around the edge here. I think I'll just clean that whole thing off and try that again. Putting this down, just tapping it on there so I keep it off of the edges, and put my smile sentiment here. There we go. And while I've got that out, I'm going to take my daisy again, and on the inside of my card here, I'm going to put the daisies right down here in the corner. And depending on how successful you are at getting this exactly right, I'm going to try and set the second one down just in between the other petals there. And that looks pretty good. On this one, I couldn't quite get it centered, and I was trying to use both the yellow and the Mango Melody, so I ended up stamping it, I don't know, 3 or 4 times before it finally looked like a real daisy. If you're careful though, knowing that you can stamp it straight up and down, then it's real easy to figure out how to turn it just one turn one way or the other to fill in. But that is the decoration for the inside of my card. Again, very simple. All right, so that is all of our stamping, and this is ready to go on this card here. So I'm going to go ahead and put down my snail for that. There we go. And then centering this on my card front so I get a little tiny border around, and I just think it's such a pretty little card. All right, so next I have some sequins from our, what is it, I can't remember. I'll list it below. Anyway, these sequins is the only place we have real purple. So I'm going to just put, I think I've been putting 5 on here. I like things with odd numbers on it. So once I get going, I kind of feel like I need to keep going. So I'm going to set one more down here. And there is my card project for the day. And I'll show you again the card that I was swapped. And I haven't run across my friend's name here from Colorado. Oh, here it is. Here it is. It's Michelle Therault. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Therault. Creative Juice paper crafts. Cute. So this is the original that gave me the idea. This is the purple one we made today. This was my original sample, and then I've made one more, and I used the Mossy Meadow and some of the paper from the Garden Lane Designer Series paper. And in this case, I used some of the rhinestones from the Noble Peacock rhinestone mix. This is so fun because it's got so many colors on it. You can find something to fit almost anything. But those are mine, my samples of this, and I'll probably end up doing this in a card class. It's so much fun. It takes very little Designer Series paper, as you can see, 4-inch strip, 1.5 inches wide. You can get a lot of cards made with a little bit of DSP, another way to use up your DSP scraps. And it could be done in any color, and nice and simple again. Thank you so much for stopping by my YouTube channel today. I do so appreciate it. And if you don't already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I'd love to be your demonstrator, and or you could join my team. Right now, there is a special going on through July and August for signing up to be a demonstrator with Stampin' Up! And signing up in July is a wonderful time. First of all, the deal is that you get an extra $30 in product with your $99 fee. So you get $155 worth of product for $99. So that's a pretty good deal. And then you get a coupon sent to you for $10 that you can use in the following month. So if you signed up in July, that coupon would be available for redemption in August. And if you signed up in August, it would be available for redemption in September. And September's kind of fun to have one, too, because that's when we'll have the holiday catalog. Can you believe it? We're already getting ready to do the holiday catalog. So it's a pretty good deal for signing up. The other thing that's good about signing up in July is you have a $300 minimum per quarter, so roughly $100 a month. And with your discount, it's like $80 a month. And your first minimum isn't due until the end of December. So signing up in July, August, or September gets you all the way through the month of December, so all the way to the end of the year. It's an excellent time to join. So my prize for the month is one of the big bundles out of the catalog, and the winner of my prize for June was Yuki Phelps, and Yuki's going to get the bundle of her choice out of the catalog. So thanks again for stopping by, and I'll be back soon with more cards, more projects, and more tips. Bye.